What is up, everybody? It's Wednesday. It's Showdown Day. Got to move a couple people around here. There we go. There we go. We got Patti. We got Dylan. Fit to be a good show here. What's up, guys?
Everybody?
Hello, hello.
Also, just want to say the intro gave me chills, by the way. I was very, very pumped.
Good. The hype, the produce the hype is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
You know, I mean, just get you all pumped up, ready to go.
That was nice. I like that. I needed that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Next level.
How's everybody feeling?
Good. A little nervous.
Nervous.
Yeah.
You've been here before. You beat Whiskey Franco. So don't be nervous. Although actually you are going up against Patti. I'd be a little nervous too.
Yeah. So
no, don't be nervous, lady.
All right. So you guys have been here before. You know how it works. You guys got 3 samples. I think you went and opened them backstage. Patti, you chose to only open one. Probably might be a good move. Might not be. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
But we're gonna go through them. Sample 1, and you're gonna give me your guesses on them. Then we'll go to sample 2, sample 3. We'll do the reveal at the end, and the chat likes to hear a little bit of tasting notes if you got them. If you don't want to give them, don't worry about it.
Okay.
But with all of that being said, we might as well just get into it. So Go ahead and fire off on sample number 1. All right. And while you guys are doing that real quick, I'm just going to run through a little roll call. There's some good stuff happening in the comments already. Patti is here first at 12:15, about 30 minutes after I created the stream. We got Brian F. at 12:26, letting you know that you can pee and not poop, but you can't poop and not pee. Just words of wisdom. We got the Bourbon with Friends podcast here. I think that's going to be Brian. Hey, Brian. Whiskey Punkard asking, what do you call a horny cow? And he says beef jerky.
Beef jerky.
Dad jokes.
They are the best.
But Dan, thanks for joining. Appreciate you, buddy. We got Smoked by Ash Joe. Spicy Strawberries here. Spencer, how you doing, bud? The other half of the neighbor is watching, I'm assuming, upstairs there, Patti? He is. You got Corey in the house. How you doing, Corey? Marshall's here. Martin is here. I was trying really hard not to screw that up. Adrian Shine is here. Hi, Adrian. I think we got the whole Bad Neighbors crew here.
I think, yeah.
What is that?
Whiskey Deek is here. How you doing, Whiskey Deek? Wyatt is in the house. We got Patti's support is here too.
Yeah.
I think Patti advertises these more than I do.
I do send out a blast to everyone, all my family members. Make sure they support.
Patti does have a cheat sheet, actually. So does Dylan. Oops. Perfect. And Brenda's here. Very good. All right, guys, what are you picking up on number 1?
Man, this is sweet. I'm going to say that much.
Yeah, it's very sweet. I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm not in any I'm not great with all the stuff overseas. I'm just going to say it, but to me, it smells like a Scottish single malt, but when you taste it, no clue.
Yeah.
it changes like so rapidly on the palate. But it's really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really crushable.
Yeah.
You might surprise yourself, Trey.
Yeah, the sweetness is throwing me off.
That's a good friend of mine that I've just gotten into the bourbon world, and he is head over heels now. So he's in trouble.
All right. Prepare yourself.
It's
Yes,
dangerous.
It's a hobby that hurts and feels good at the same time.
that's right.
Whiskey appraiser, how you doing, Braxton? Thanks for joining. Martin, I love the link. Instagram.com, freedom malts, ? Like, why is there a question mark there? So we got sweet so far.
Yeah, I want to say it's actually very, very, there's like no burn, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the barrel impact or if it's the grain impact, but I'm getting a little bit of peppery spice on the back end. But like I said, I don't know where that's coming from exactly. Because on the nose, I don't get any spice whatsoever.
Sorry to hear that, Spencer. That's it's always a damn shame. We got some guesses coming in.
Yeah.
What is in John's glass?
So I'm getting a little mint. I don't know why, but I'm not getting that peppery at the end.
A little mint. I can kind of see that.
But I don't know if maybe it's because of the sweetness up front that's kind of muting that mint.
Look at me. I am the captain now. Another guess coming in. All right. So in my glass, everybody, this is a brand new one. Probably one of the prettiest bottles I've ever seen, embossed with barley and some kind of flower and just really neat things, faceted all over the place, glass stopper. But this is the Thresh and Winnow 8-year American single malt. This is actually made at the Koval Distillery in Illinois. I'm just kind of getting into it. They bottled it at 50%. It's 8 years old. So, I mean, stats on it are pretty nice. Nose on it is absolutely gorgeous. The palate, the jury's still out on it, but it's not bad.
This is where my lack of knowledge in overseas hurts because I don't know who makes this bottle.
We got collusion coming in, Patti, for your disappearing act.
I'm sorry. I'm getting over a cold, so I did not want to go ahead and blow my nose and make noises on camera. So
I understood what you were doing.
Yeah, thanks. But since people want to be nosy, I know I told you, Dylan, looking at the sheet is what's gonna go ahead and just help out on that aspect.
Yeah, I do agree. This
It's
is
a
a
lot.
really tricky one. It's impressive, I will say that.
It is. It's
You
really
you like
That's-
it. You like it, Dylan.
Yes, that's goals.
So, Brian, funny story about Dickel. So, my local whiskey group, the Northwoods Whiskey Nerds, we did a little get together this past weekend, and one of the guys brought in a bottle. I want to say it was a proof and wood bottle. Now, I never remember the names of these things. I know it's Senator, Cabinet, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was whatever one it was. I was looking at it, and he was telling me he liked it and this and that, and I should try it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm looking at the bottle, and on the back it says distilled in Tennessee. I said, oh, I bet you that's Dickel. So I poured a little in the glass, took a nose. Yeah, I'm thinking that's Dickel. My face when I took the sip was very unfavorable, and I said, yeah, that's definitely Dickel, and it's not good Dickel either. I do not get down with Dickel. I can't drink it.
So is it a minerality thing for you too? Like everybody says, or
okay, so
vitamins?
for me, what I taste is it tastes like that flake fish food that used to come in the little yellow container and you drop it in your fish tank. It tastes like that smells.
No way. Oh, that's like super strong.
Right, like seaweed, mineral, and just not lovely for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And it's been a couple Dickels that have given me that. So
Couple Dickels.
no, the Dickel 12-year was really bad. How did I know that was going to start the jokes? I knew it. Ooh, here's a good guess from Spicy. Salted caramel crown.
No. That stuff's disgusting.
All right, I think
You guys in the chat, do you remember? Do you understand what the note that I get out of that fish food, and how it's something? How you can smell something and kind of get an idea of what it would taste like, but you don't want to eat it. That's a good question, Brian. I don't think there is. However, that might be a really good idea just for the funny of it. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't open it because I wouldn't want to drink it, but maybe there's a chance that one would be good. I don't know. All right. Are you guys ready? Patty's not ready yet.
I can't. I'm gonna second guess myself if I do anything else, so I'm good.
Put the pen and paper down. Patty, take your time. No worries.
I know. I'm just trying to pinpoint this because
this is a tough one, I think.
It is. And I'm just trying to see if. Okay.
I gotta say, I didn't expect this one to be the tough one.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Well,
I may be completely wrong on this. Oh no, this today.
But you could be completely right.
True.
Nope. Well, that's the only thing I could change.
And that might have been the bottle you thought was missing, Brian. Is this really a fact, Martin? That's kind of cool. I don't know if that explains anything or not, but
You
yes, I got the Detling Gold and somehow poured samples and got it to him in less than a day.
Oh, you did get a Detling Gold?
No, I wasn't. I would not spend $250 on that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I didn't really want to talk about this tonight, but since you asked, Detling is good. Detling is very good. I find it fantastic. That price on a bottle, absolutely not. I would never even consider it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I mean, if he was coming in with, it was, I mean, even if it was 15-year-old bourbon and he said it was $250, okay, there's a little bit more justification with that. This thing is, I don't even, what is it, 80?
I think it's like 7 years or 6 years.
84 months or something like that.
Yeah.
I get, like, there's obviously there's a cost involved to make the whiskey. Obviously, you have an amount of money that you put into the barrel. The barrel loses whatever amount of money over time. So you kind of gotta play those numbers. But I cannot foresee that particular barrel coming in at $250 a bottle. I find it very hard to believe, especially when the one that he put up with it, that Tiffany barrel, was only 100.
Right.
Okay, that would be a little bit more reasonable.
That's a little more doable. Yeah.
Right. Maybe 150. Okay. But yeah,
It's a stretch.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed when I saw that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on the go forward with Detling, and maybe it's a one-off thing, and it really, I mean, he did get 190 something bottles out of 94. So it's not like it emptied the barrel.
Yeah, that's a little crazy when you sit down and think about it. I mean,
yeah,
that whiskey's not. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but it ain't $250 great. Like,
I don't. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, realistically, I don't think any bourbon's worth $250.
No.
I mean, until you start talking about it's been in the barrel for 20 plus years, because then, my math is $10 a year,
right,
roughly. Obviously, at cast strength and the size of operation, and then there's all kinds of little variables in there, but that's a good rough guess to start at.
All right, so, I'm ready.
You're ready, Patti. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start with you, Patti.
All right. Generic. I'm gonna go with single malt.
Okay.
Proof 45. Casting used. Specific. I'm gonna go with an Irish single malt, actually. I'm going to stick with 45, and I'm gonna say wine barrels. I'm getting cherry, Madeira, a little on the sweetness, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Specific casting.
Okay, so you said what on the specific?
The casting, cherry and Madeira barrels.
Okay. distillery bottle.
The distillery, I'm going to go with Tilly. Sorry, yeah. I don't know if that's the exact distillery or who.
And then bottle with
The Irish single malt.
single malt Teeling. Got it. Dylan.
Okay. Generic, I said single malt as well. Generic ABV, I said 46%. Generic casking, I said used bourbon barrels. Specific category, I said Scottish single malt. Specific ABV, I bumped it up to 48. I just felt like there was a little more going on towards the back end. And then I stayed with used bourbon barrels for the specific casking.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correct, but I said Lamfrag. Is that all right? And I said,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the 10-year. I said.
Yes, we had one other contestant call it Lamp Frog.
Lamfrog.
So
What's the proper pronunciation?
Lafroig.
Lafroig. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that sounds nice. Lafroig. Okay.
All right, guys. Good stuff. Good stuff. Go ahead and jump into sample number 2.
Ooh, okay.
What did I miss here?
Whatever that is really good.
It is, and it's really good.
That's very good. It's also an experience in a glass, that's for sure. Wow.
Mark, thanks for joining. We got Mark here cheering you on, Dylan. I'm assuming D is you.
Yeah. It's my father-in-law. Thank you for joining.
Ah, perfect. Got to be Jephthah. No, you have my bottle of Jephthah.
Yeah. St. Martin has too many bottles of Jephthah.
I actually got a bottle of it recently. I got the it's the 4-grain mash bill. Have y'all had that?
It works really, really well for elevating a fire.
Elevating a fire.
There's a small story about Jephthah Creed. Martin dislikes it greatly, and we all had gotten together and we had a fire going outside, and he was sitting outside and asked somebody to pour him one and surprise him, and so of course, knowing that he hated it, Jephthah was the one that was decided to be poured. So he took one tiny sip of it, said, "Nope, that's Jephthah." Threw it into the fire out of his glass, and the fire went. Woof. What are you guys getting on this one? You both said it's really good, so.
It is really good.
Oh, he didn't even sip it. He just smelled it and knew it was Jephthah and tossed it into the fire.
He did. It did exactly what he described to what it was, which was a dirty dish sponge. It's exactly what that smelled like. And you can't hide from that smell. That's awful.
Oh, and then after he did that, there was singed hair smell all over the place.
Oh
so.
yeah, all over the place.
There was a few people sitting a little close to the fire when that happened. Thank goodness Kim was a little further back with all that off that she had on.
Yeah, I mean, she sprayed enough on everyone else. This tastes familiar to me. And that's what's kind of throwing me off. It's really good.
It is.
I agree with you guys. This one is really, really good.
Doggone it.
Dirty sponge pond water.
Yeah.
So Weller. Weller.
Well,
I just say it doesn't smell. A good thing Weller does not have that smell.
What kind of smell are you getting? What kind of taste are you getting? Martin wants to know.
Martin wants to know.
Caesar thinks it's because I like it and think it's really, really good. It's going to be a Lost Lantern bottle.
I mean, this one is a little hotter, I have to say, compared to the other one.
yeah, I do agree with that.
It's getting that nice hug. I'm getting nutty notes. That I am getting the nutty notes on this one.
I love the chat's meta guesses here. Who was that? Brian did the math. It was like a 60-something% chance to get a scotch.
Oh yeah, because you have a lot.
Yeah, that's probably the one I have the most of.
And
And if you just say single malt, that's a huge segment of my collection. I don't remember what the number was, what he said, but it was pretty high.
Yeah. And I don't know if you like us that much to really give away that much Lost Lantern samples. Sure.
I like you guys as much as I like anybody. I'll give anything away. There's one bottle in my collection that is not in that list. And it's not that I wouldn't give it out. It's just.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's playing a trick on us.
You think?
Yeah,
Are we like both
because I'm
thinking
like, I'm like leaning towards a finished product, but I don't.
Yes, that's the one, Martin.
It's like the more I go into it, I don't know if it's finished.
I have to say this one's sweet too.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Come on now, Brian. They said it was good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, Brian, it's good. It's sweet. It has more burn. It doesn't look like it's to me, I don't think it's outside of the state. I'll say that much.
You don't think it's what?
Outside of the state.
Yeah, I feel like it's an American product too. I just can't pinpoint who and where.
Oh, Brian. No, I got to make a reel of me dumping it down the drain. Did I really? Is that really a thing? I thought I saw something like that, but then I wasn't sure if it was satire or if I was just.
No, it's a
Not
real
reading
thing.
It is okay.
But they're not saying. They're just saying, "Oh, it's not going to cost $7,000." Well, you're not saying it's not going to cost $2,000 either.
No,
so-
but it's not going to cost $7,000, but $6,400.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like in the 2,000 range, to be honest with you. Because
You
how
know-
much is the double Eagle Rare?
You're talking about Eagle Rare 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one they're talking about now. But so
yeah.
double Eagle Rare is the
20 year? 25 year?
I
Or no?
because there's double Eagle Very Rare, right? I don't
know.
even know.
Yeah,
Like
so
it doesn't even matter because
Maybe
realistically, I'm
20.
never going to have it. Nor would I try to look for it either. But I mean, if somebody offered it up to me, I'd try it just to say I tried it. But my thing about it is like, how many of the same whiskey can we put out?
Well,
So Eagle Rare 17 is the BTAC one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and then there's double
it'll
Eagle Rare, double Eagle Very Rare, right?
I think so.
See now, Brian, the 17 at 150, I don't think that's a horrible price if you get it for that price. You'll never find it in a store for that price, realistically.
Well, then sometimes it's over 17 too. Like a couple years back, I think it was like 19 years.
Yeah.
So that's that's a good value, but you'll never pay 150 for it. That I bet the 12-year will probably be like $80. Like they'll just double the original Eagle Rare.
And maybe. I mean,
And then you have
who
Weller
knows?
18, $1,000 probably.
Falcon Rare. So with this Canadian thing going on where the American whiskey is coming off the shelves at the Canadian liquor stores, do you think they're going to come back to the States and end up on liquor store shelves here? Or do you think they will take that and export it elsewhere?
That's a great question.
Because really it was already meant to be exported,
Right.
which means most likely 700 milliliter bottles.
I feel like they definitely will, because I feel like if those big brands are really wanting those expansions to pay off like they initially thought they would, I feel like they're really going to push towards like India, China, the gigantic markets, because I don't think I've heard mixed stuff like from podcasts and stuff, but they keep saying how Europe is not as big into bourbon as more of the Middle East and
Yeah.
India are. So I would think, I don't know. I would think they'd probably bring it over there just for their own benefit, but I don't know if we're going to see any of it.
I don't think we will. I think, I know there's some people that are hopeful that it'll start landing on the shelves here. Because realistically, talking to a few Canadian friends that I have, they can go into a store and see all the stuff that people pine over here and can't get, and the prices are way elevated and all that stuff. And they see it sitting on the shelves up there. And it's just like fairly normal. So, like I know there's some hope that they would bring all those back here, put them on liquor store shelves here, throw it in our distribution center or, stuff. But I still don't. I still think they'll export that because that's what it was intended for, anyways. Spencer, I don't know the specifics on it. I haven't really followed it. I'll just say that. Because realistically, I mean, if that's what I know, there's more stuff to it than just alcohol and whiskey, but it's not that much of a concern for me personally. So I don't follow it that much. I've seen little blips about it here and there.
All right, I think I got mine.
That's a good point, Dan. Dylan says he's ready. Patti, getting there?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, take your time. I'm not rushing you.
Yeah, no, I'm ready.
All right. Dylan, we're going to start with you this time.
Okay. For starters, number 2 was incredible. It's my favorite so far out of the 2. I think it's a rye. I said 115 proof. I said new fill oak. And then specific category, I stayed with rye. Straight rye whiskey. Specific proof, I bumped it up to 60% ABV. Specific casking, I stayed with new fill, American oak. Exact distillery, I said Kings County. And exact bottle, I said Lost Lantern Kings County Rye. I had their single malt, and I don't know how much of a difference, but I've had a couple of their stuff in the past, and it just kind of reminds me of, like, they have a good bit of spice, in my opinion, and that just kind of reminds me of their profile.
Okay. Yeah. Kings County is definitely really good too. So
it's very good. Yes.
Yeah. Patti, what do you got?
All right. I might be completely wrong on mine. All right. So I actually went with a bourbon. I went with 55%. I went new and used as far as casting. I went with a finished bourbon. I bumped it up a little to 58. And then I went with a port finish bourbon.
So new and port.
Yeah.
Could see that.
Okay.
And then I went with Driftless Glen port finish.
Very good. Very good. All right. Go ahead and move on to sample number 3.
Oh, what?
Okay.
It was like straight honey. Honey syrup almost.
Smells like straight honey syrup, he says. All right, guys.
What are you?
Oh, man.
And we do have the entire Bourbon with Friends podcast group in here today. We got Adrian, Martin, Brian, and the editor, Joe, who always seems to get forgotten about. But Bourbon with Friends podcast, guys, Listen to them anywhere on any platform that you listen to podcasts on. They are also on YouTube. They talk about all kinds of stuff, spirits related, whiskey related or not. Great guests they've had on the show, and definitely have at least one very interesting question every episode. So guys, tune into the Bourbon with Friends podcast or watch them on YouTube. Great stuff. Also, 10thmountainwhiskey.com. I'm sorry, 10th Mountain Whiskey, 10thwhiskey.com. Making bourbon, rye, single malt, brandies, cordials, moonshine, and a beautiful tater vodka. Check them out at 10thwhiskey.com. They do ship to 41 states. They do have distribution into 42 states and counting. Sorry. They do have distribution in 28 states and counting. So if your local retailer does not have them on the shelf, ask for them by name. 10thwhiskey.com. If they can't get them, you can get your own, most likely. And last but not least, we got and today actually is, well, today would be the 100th birthday of the owner of Richard's Liquors' grandfather, whose name is Richard, thus where the name Richard's Liquors actually came from. So if you got a moment, just pop over to the Richard's Liquors Instagram and give a little congratulations on the on his post today about Grandpa's birthday. He's doing a little giveaway from between now and Super Bowl Sunday. Not sure what all the details are, but I think you have to be in store to get it. But and also, just so everybody does know, the winner of the showdown, the final overall winner, gets to pick their choice of one of any of the dick pics available at that time. So I know there's a couple really good ones right now. I know he's got a few in the works. So they're come April 16th, the winner will get to pick whatever one they want out of what's available at the moment. And yes, Dan says Kings County with the small barrels and the high proof are tongue punches.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't like a good old tongue punch?
They are nice.
A lot of love for the Kings County stuff from Corey. Driftless getting some love there from Patti. Patty's face is telling a story. She doesn't like this one.
No, it's interesting. I have to say, I think all the ones that we got are all sweet up front.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
That's the common trend for sure.
Yeah. Are you sure you didn't like? I know you say you put them on random, but this is very random that they're all very sweet up front.
Very, yeah. This one came out very, very random.
Yeah, this one's throwing me off. The sweetness, the color to it as well.
Yeah, it's really light.
Yeah.
No, I think their potato vodka is definitely better than 10 times redistilled blends. I'm pretty sure the gross would still come through even after 10 times. Thank you, Martin, for dropping these links. Appreciate you. And Joe, great guess. Love the guess. However, it is a honey spirit, so it does not actually qualify as whiskey.
I'm getting like citrus, a little, and some mint too. Spearmint more than mint actually. The citrus definitely up front.
I feel like this is one of those where the predominant like style is kind of overwhelmed by what else is going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Deke, you're not wrong, man. Tater vodka, the term tater, not actually potato. Tater vodka would probably be Wheatley. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that.
Tater vodka.
Speaking of taters, okay, another funny story from the get together this past weekend. I used the term tater in a sentence, and the guy hosting it had no idea what the hell I meant. He's never heard it before. And I'm like, what? Where have you been that you've never heard that?
I mean, you did say he was a tater, so
yeah.
taters don't know taters, you know?
Spirits, 5-year bourbon barrel, aged honey spirit. I don't know that one, Joe.
That means he doesn't have it.
No, are you talking about the one Mike has? Yes, he was hiding under a tater instead of a rock. That's a good guess.
What are you?
But this one doesn't seem as hot as the number 2.
No, this is so easy to drink. I just
Same.
don't have a clue what you could be.
The chat is throwing out all these honey finished things.
That's what it tastes like.
Because you guys said honey right up front, or one of you said honey right up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan said honey on the nose. At this point, I'm not getting much on the nose. Okay, my nose broke. Wow, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
But you were so light. That's what's confusing.
And by the way, for everybody who's wondering, I moved on to the ASW Tire Fire cast strength after my thresh and
That
winnow.
other one.
There's a lot of things about Joe, but there's one thing you can count on. He will always keep it classy. Okay, Maximus. You just gave him the name for his 19th burner account.
Classy. I mean, we do always keep it classy.
Yeah, yeah. I figured he was. I figured you guys were bros back in the day. No, Joe, we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. Hard at work. Look at these two. Hard at work. Concentration. So I'm Dylan. I am super stoked for Distillery Arcadian to get that single malt out.
Yeah, me too. Do you still I'm guessing you finished the sample that I gave you originally, like from batch 1?
Yeah. So before the show, I was looking in my samples to see if I still had some of the samples you had sent me, and it doesn't look like I do. So I finished those, but I do remember. I think you sent me 4, and I think I enjoyed all 4 of them fairly well.
Yeah,
the bent one was the one that would have been questionable.
So I will say, I believe I sent you the malt. So
Yes,
I got to try. So they have an unbent line, so they're all bottled in bond. I think they're all like at least 5.5 to 6 years old.
Okay.
They have a rye, they have a malt, they have a wheat, and a bourbon.
Okay.
And at the distillery, I got the tour to. I went toward the distillery a few years back. But you get to bottle your own at the distillery if you want to. And I will say, at barrel proof, they are like completely different level.
Okay.
So I have the rye. If you're interested, I'll send you a sample of that rye. It's like 136 proof, but it's not your traditional rye. It's like a 4-grain rye, has 0 corn. Like it's very interesting. It has oats, it's got barley, it's got wheat and rye. So it's very
That's
interesting.
really cool. Like I don't know if I've ever heard of something like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I really like them. They and then they have a flagship, but it's like a blend of light whiskey, rye, malt, wheat, bourbon,
Okay.
and there's something else they add in, but their goal is to have like 5 or 6 on that line that they can just put out. They're supposed to be working on a light whiskey, but that rye is really nice, and the malt was very good. I had to choose one, and I'm more of a rye fan, so I chose the rye, but the malt is very, very good at cask strength.
Cool. Yeah, I know. That Arcadian one. I mean, I'll tell you when they do drop that out, I'm definitely put me down for one. So just let me know when that happens, and
Will do. So
we'll figure that out.
I think batch 1 was actually in a 10-gallon or 15-gallon barrel because they were just starting out.
Sure.
And now everything is in 53, and I think they partnered with Kelvin Cooperage.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I know they just got a shipment in. But yeah, I'll do it. I know it's supposed to be store picks, but we'll I know the owner, so we'll try to get something out of them,
Cool.
We'll see where they go.
Little heads up info for the BWF podcast. They're going to have Bent on Monday. Well, they've had Bent on, and the episode will release on Monday.
Did y'all talk to Raleigh Hughes? That's the guy I spoke with. Who's a really great guy.
Okay. Jeff, thanks for coming in. Right. You missed it. I was telling stories about the weekend. Hey, Stacy, thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Joe says yes, that's who they talk to.
Sweet. Yeah, he's a good dude.
And their distiller.
Okay. Yeah, Dan, I've had it. I'm actually on the schedule to send you some stuff, so that'll be one of them. So don't worry. Well, not hazmat. It's 136, but I mean, it's right there.
It's pretty darn close.
Yeah, it's close.
But it isn't hazmat.
Yeah.
I love this community, the whiskey community in a whole. I mean, you know, Dan has sent me samples. I
Mhm.
gotta send Dan a few more. I sent him a couple samples, but I gotta send him a few more. But you know, you're sending Dan samples. I mean, it's just
He's
it's
he's
the
incredibly generous.
Dan is.
Yes.
And speaking of, I forgot to say this earlier. I am actually drinking out of the whiskey bunkered glass.
There it is.
Yes, all bad, Jeff. Everything bad. I told the Dickel story and how you had not heard of the term tater before.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
I was about to say the same. This is I don't even know. But
Yeah,
we're gonna wing this one.
yeah.
Dylan,
So
you're ready. Patty, you're ready.
yeah.
Yup.
Drum roll, please. All right, Patty, fire them off.
Okay. I'm gonna say generic. I'm gonna hate myself for this, but I'm gonna go with blended single malt.
Blended malt.
Blended malt, yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, why did I put single when it's blended? But I'm going with blended malt.
Okay.
52. I'm gonna go with new and used, or used actually. I'm just gonna go with used.
Just used.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'm going with blended American malt actually.
Okay.
ABV. I'm bumping it up to 54.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say ex bourbon for the finish.
Okay.
As far as exact distillery, this is where I'm kind of stuck. Oh, good.
Lots of choices.
I know.
There's
I
yeah.
know. Let's go with Virginia. That's what I'm gonna go with.
That's what I almost went with. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Exact bottle. That's what I was trying to search. Was the exact bottle out here?
You're getting props for your headphones there, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't know. It reassures that I can hear myself through the mic. So I don't like my voice, but you know, it works.
Germ, let's go with that Courage and Conviction single bourbon cask.
Okay. C&C single cask bourbon. Got it. All right, Dylan, what do you got?
All right, so generic, I'm gonna say single malt. Generic ABV, I'm gonna say 50%. Generic casking, I'm gonna say new fill oak, and I'm gonna say tequila barrels. Specific category, I'm gonna go finished American single malt. I'm gonna stick to the same proof at 50%. And then I'm gonna stay the same with specific casking. I'm gonna go new American oak and use tequila barrels. And then exact distillery, I'm gonna say Stranahan's. And then the bottle, I'm gonna say the Diamond Peak tequila finish. That's probably I'm just taking a shot out of
Shot in the dock.
yeah.
Yeah, this one was a tough one.
Yeah, it was. It really I really kept getting honey, but like it just kind of reminded me of tequila for some reason. So, you know, whatever.
Okay. So, good news is we do not have a tie.
Okay. Do we have any points?
All right. Which sample of yours, or which sample was your favorite, Dylan? I think I know the answer to this, but I want to make sure.
Hands down, number 2.
Okay. Patty?
Number 2.
Number 2 for sure. All right. We're going to start the reveal with number 2. Who
Sure.
does number 2 work for? All right, you guys, you both showed a lot of love for this bottle. And I enjoy that you really enjoyed this bottle because this is actually one of my favorite newer bottles in the past 6 months, maybe 6-8 months. Patty, you said bourbon. Dylan, you said rye. Dylan, you are going to take a point on that. It is rye.
Cool.
Patty, 55% you said.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, you said 115 proof. So Patty, you, to convert to proof, you're at 110. The actual proof on the bottle, Dylan, you are going to take a point for this, is 116.8. So Patty, you missed it by 3.4%.
Oh man,
You're super close with your 55%. That was an awesome guess. Dylan, that was a great guess at 115. Patty, you said new and used for your generic casking.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, you said just new. Dylan, it is just new oak, so a point for you on that one. Patty, you said finished bourbon. Dylan, you said straight rye. No points for that. Dylan, it is not a straight rye. It is just rye. It is not 2 years old.
it's not 2 years old.
It is not 2 years old.
No way.
It is less than 2 years old.
Jeez.
Okay.
That and one of the reasons why I'm just infatuated with this whiskey because
That's
it
unbelievable.
that in under 2 years.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So just off the record, my age guess was 6 years.
Mm-hmm. I would have. I'm right there with you. I would have guessed way older on this.
Yeah, I put
Unbelievable.
4. Yeah.
Specific ABV, Patty, you got super close. 58%. You said so. We're off by 0.4. Even better. Dylan, you did go up to 120, so no points on that one for you guys. Dylan, you stayed at the new oak. Patty, you said new and port, which I know why you said port. I get a cool little almost a finish out of this, but it is.
I did get worried when she said that too. So
yep. But Dylan, you're going to take a point on that one. So Patty, you said Driftless Glen port finished. Dylan, you said Kings County, the Lost Lantern bottle. It is actually Far North Spirits. This is a single varietal rye. The Oakland is the varietal. And so let's see. The information on this is it was the seeds were planted in September of 2021. They harvested the crops August of 22. The distillation happened in March of 23, and bottling happened September of 24. Now, when you said this doesn't seem out of country, I don't think you can find a distillery any closer to out of the country until you get over into the PNW, like way over on the Canadian border there. But this is really, really far up there in the middle of Minnesota, very close on the border. Yeah, very close to Canada.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's really good.
For that young. Wow. And
then you said it was familiar, Patty. You did have it before.
I did. And now when you said that, I was like, fuck, I've had that bottle. Yep.
All right, so let's move on. We'll go to sample number 1. Both of you guys said single malt, so you both are going to take a point on that. It is a single malt. Patty, you said 45%. Dylan, you said 46%. You're both also going to take a point on that. It is actually 46.8, so you're within the plus minus 2.
Cool.
You both said used. It is used and used only. So you're both going to take a point on that. Specific category. Patti, you said Irish single malt. Dylan, you said Scottish single malt. Dylan, you're going to take that point. It is a Scottish single malt. Again, with the proof, Patti, you stayed at 45. Dylan, you went up to 48. So no points there because we didn't get the 46.8.
Gotcha.
Patti, you are correct. It is finished. However, it is only sherry finished.
Damn.
It is ex-bourbon and sherry. So no points. Dylan, you said ex-bourbon. Patti, you said sherry and Madeira.
Yeah.
So it is only ex-bourbon and sherry. Exact Distillery. Patti, you said Teeling, the Teeling single malt, which the bottle of Teeling that I have, the actual distillery on that would be Cooley.
Okay.
Dylan, you said Lafroig 10. I didn't hear you talk about peat, and you came out with Lafroig, so I'm assuming you got peat on it.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But I also don't know. So
okay, that's
with
fine.
stuff like that. But
it is peated.
I do get a little like smoke from the peat. That makes sense. So
so the exact distillery is Highland Park, and we're going to go with the Viking Porn. This is the Highland Park Valknut, which was a special edition. It's a non-age stated, just special edition with artwork. Nothing really crazy about the whiskey other than instead of their normal sourced barley, they're using a lot more local barley to them to make this than their normal 12-year-old stuff. All right. And now to sample number 3.
Dude. This one was interesting.
Yeah.
This is the one that I figured would be the hardest one.
Yeah.
And when you were telling me that number 1 was hard for you guys, I was like, whoa. All right, Patti, excellent guess. You guessed blended malt. Dylan, you said single malt. It is a single malt. Patti, you said 52%. Dylan, you said 50%. Neither one of you are going to get a point on that. It is 45.2%.
Man, I wanted to go to 4.
Patti, you said used oak. Dylan, you said new and used.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually new oak only.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Specific category. Patti, you said blended American malt. Dylan, you said finished American single malt.
Mm-hmm.
Technically that's not going to be a thing
Right.
because we American single malt can age in anything or be put in anything, so we don't need the finish on it. So ASM is what you said. It is ASM. 54% for you, Patti. 50% for you, Dylan. You stayed the same, so no points there. 45.2 was the percentage. Specific casking. Patti, judging by color, I would have said the exact same thing, ex-bourbon. Dylan, you said new and tequila. It is new only. New oak only. Patti, Virginia, Courage and Conviction, the single cast ex-bourbon barrel. And Dylan, Stranahan's Diamond Peak tequila finished, obviously sticking with your tequila finished guess.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually probably one that you guys have never heard of. This is the Bull Run Distillery out of Oregon. It is a Oregon single malt, 6 years old in new oak, and it comes out to that color, which, I mean, it's not incredibly light, but it's not incredibly dark either.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what was fooling me.
Yeah.
The whole time.
And it is charred new American oak, which
that's wow, 6 years old?
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
Is it aged in a cellar?
I don't actually know
no
the
sunlight?
answer to that question.
That's
it is
wild.
in the Pacific Northwest. So
I did. Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, that is something that
it's
that
not
does
very
play
hot
an
up there a
effect on
lot.
it.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, I forgot to come back over to the comments. There we go. So with that, Sample 1 gave us a 3 to 4 in favor of Dylan. Sample 2 gave us 0 to 4 in favor of Dylan. And sample 3, 0 to 2 in favor of Dylan. So that means 3 to 10
Yeah.
to the Dylan side.
Congrats,
But
Dylan.
three tough samples, good guesses all the way
They
around.
they were very
Those-
tough. Yeah.
You guys both did great. Patti, I can totally see your bourbon and finished bourbon on that rye because there is some serious sweetness on it.
Yeah, and like I said, all three of them were very sweet. I did not expect that much sweetness in every single one of them, but they're all really good.
They were. Yeah. Number 3 was just that was a wild ride.
It was,
I've
and that's
never
why,
experienced anything like that.
that's why I felt like it was blended, just because there was
Yeah.
something else in there. Like, did not expect it to be single and not finished at all. When there
Yeah.
was definitely something else that was bringing a lot to the flavor, but it's really good too.
I think that's. I'm sorry.
No,
Well,
go ahead.
I think one thing, like going back to the first sample, how you said it's used and finished, like I think that's one thing as far as, like, to me, in my opinion, I can differentiate Scottish and Irish because for me, to my palate, Irish is the closest thing to American bourbon, in my opinion. And Scottish to me is just like vastly different. Like it's
Okay.
just sweeter, it's smokier. Like I can just something about that just lets me know, like, okay, that's Scottish. Like I don't know what it is, but I feel like I can point that out a little better.
Sure.
But as far as the finishing part of Scottish, I don't know. I don't know where.
So to go on what you said there, Dylan. So most everywhere in the world, doesn't matter what kind of whiskey they're making, most everywhere, for the most part, now it's not a hard and fast rule. There is exceptions to it, but they're going to use ex-bourbon barrels almost the majority of, right?
Right, yeah.
Now, they're also going to take raw spirit and put it in sherry casks and fully mature it in sherry casks. Then they're going to blend ex-bourbon and sherry cask stuff together to make the bottlings. So it's not necessarily a finished product, but it does have that other cask involved in there. And it'll be proportions, whatever. So like, 48% ex-bourbon barrel, 10% sherry, 10% this sherry, whatever, however they work it out to make the profile that they're looking for on it. Obviously finishing is another thing, and we do that, but Irish is going to use ex-bourbon. Scottish is going to use ex-bourbon. Canadian is going to use ex-bourbon. Obviously we can use ex-bourbon here for a lot of things. There is, like I said, exceptions to the rule. There is some Scottish whiskeys that will do an expression that is virgin oak, and Irish the same way. But for the most part, you're looking at used stuff when you're on the outside of America.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if they just do it differently in Ireland, but I feel like it's just a little bit more reminiscent of what we have here. I don't know. Maybe it's just the two that I had previously on here, but
yeah. And I don't 100% remember what you had. I know you had.
I think it was a blue spot, and then there was a 15-year. I forgot what it was.
So you had red spot. So you got red spot and blue spot. Okay, so that's pretty crazy. So those are what are single pot stills.
Okay.
So that's unmalted barley and malted barley make up the mash bill. That's what's going to give you your like a spiciness where you're going to what you're associating with closer to. Closer to our type of spirits. They're giving you a little bit of extra spiciness on that unmalted barley stuff, or the combination of the two. And then triple distillation kind of, I don't want to say it removes another layer of the spirit when they run it through for the third time. So it definitely is a lot more delicate and can pick up barrel influence a lot easier.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
No, it does.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
get what you're saying. That makes
So-
a lot of sense why it's very similar in a way.
Bourbon rocks. No, bourbon's good. All right. Well, guys, excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Dylan, congratulations. Patti,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Yeah.
You guys both did fantastic.
I'm
Did-
gonna dip for 1 second, guys.
Yeah, you're good.
Just 1 second.
He's got to go yell at the dog.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I didn't smell, and that's most likely going to be because of mine. I smell no peating whatsoever.
So Highland Park, I would say, I mean, it's definitely on the lighter end of peat, and it's more of a heather type of peat than it is like a maritime type of peat. So it's not that seaweed and urchin and dead fish and all that stuff that gets grouped into the crap that they cut on Isla. You get a little cleaner, a little nicer smoke up there, and they do less of it. So I feel like Highland Park is a good one to kind of introduce people to peat on because it is lighter. And if you're super sensitive to it, you'll still pick it up really fast. Dylan, that means you are actually going up against the Hood Sommelier.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So he's put down some points so far. So he's doing pretty good. You're doing pretty darn good. You put down
Thank
8
you.
points on the first round, 10 points on this round. So you're doing pretty darn good too. But that show will be on March 5th.
March 5th. Okay.
So if for some weird reason that doesn't work for you, let me know.
Will do. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good, but I'll make sure.
Okay. There's still a question in the air about Adam. I'm probably going to have to switch the February 26th show and Adam and the March 5th show so that can work out. But guys, in the chat, thank you so much for joining in, sticking around, cheering them on, the fun comments. Thank you, Spicy. Yeah, on your way out, if you want, please hit that hit that sub button. We do this every week on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. We're coming in towards the end of round 2. I'm going to start off round 3 here shortly. February 26th starts round 3. Then it really gets interesting. So, other than that, congratulations, Dylan, Patti, excellent job. And until next time, I don't have any whiskey in my glass, so that's not going to work. You know what? I'm going to have a little bit of sample number 2 because
Yeah, it's just that good.
I love this whiskey. I think it's so good. But until next week, everybody, cheers to this American spirit.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.